Welcome back to Footballology. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles up for their report card. Now, when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they're a team that really knew how to take care of business down the stretch. They were right there on the cusp of not making the playoffs, and they ended up taking care of business. Nick Foles at the helm, and it was just boom, 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 killing people one after another. And then they get up against the Saints, and a lot of craziness in that Saints game. But at the end of the day, that's where they lost. And I feel like Philadelphia was this close to getting to the Super Bowl once again. And maybe Nick Foles was just that good. I'm not sure. But I really looked at their secondaries being the big issue, and I know injuries were a big issue at that part of, or in that point of the field as well. But when you look at this team overall, it's just a really good football team, and that's not something you can say for a lot of teams in the NFL. You can say, "Oh, that's a talented roster, that's this," but with the Philadelphia Eagles, they're just a really good football team. So now with this report card, I'm not gonna do my traditional best player, worst player, and player alike. With this report card, I didn't know what to do actually. I didn't really like this draft at all. Even with them only having 5 picks, I understood that. But like I've been saying this whole entire offseason and through all these report cards, what was the last team did to you, and what did the last team do to you as far as exposing you, and what can you do to fix that? And I don't feel like Philadelphia did anything to fix that. First of all, you get Andre Dillard, which it makes sense. I really do. It makes sense. I know it does. But I didn't like the pick because I know Jason Peters is getting old and all that. But I didn't like the pick based off because you didn't need him right away. Like if Jason Peters was good for one more year, why not squeeze that one more year out of him? I know that everybody's gonna say, "Oh well, we got to develop him and bring him along and all that." Like I don't care. Like you were trying to win championships last time I checked, right? So you don't need a guy like Andre Dillard right away. You don't need to bring him in and say sit on the bench and hopefully you'll play one day because we don't know what Jason Peters is going to be. If Jason Peters was out, this makes a little bit more sense, but even then, I still don't like it. I just don't like this pick. This pick makes no sense to me with Andre Dillard. And then you fast forward and you got the Miles Saunders pick, and you look at him and you're like, okay, well, he was a pretty good running back at Penn State. He was behind Saquon Barkley, blah blah blah. He's agility, this, that, and other. It still makes no sense to me because you guys have, even though it's a crowded backfield with the running backs that you have on your roster, you had good production out of your running back. So why go get a running back in the second round? Like that makes no sense at all. Now, like you look at this team and it's like, okay, so now you go get a running back at a position that you wasn't even hurting at. You go get a tackle at another position that you wasn't even hurting at. And I believe in building depth. I really do believe building depth. Like you need depth on this in this NFL. You need it. People get hurt. Players get hurt. I understand that. But Miles Saunders was not a needed pick at all. And then you look at JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Okay, he's pretty much a clone of Alshon Jeffrey. He's a 50-50 jump ball catch machine. I understand that. Alshon Jeffrey is a banged up receiver. He gets banged up a lot throughout the year, so you want that depth. But you had Mac Hollins. Like, why did you need to go get him? You did not need to go get that pick. It makes no sense for me what Philadelphia was doing last year. Linebacker was a weakness for them, in my opinion. I feel like they lack some speed and just overall solid play there. I know they got, like I said at the opening, they got good football players, but they were missing something. They're missing that talent, and that's what they should have did with these picks. They didn't really feel like they upped their talent at all. Like they just kind of created depth with 5 picks. And it's like you're a Super Bowl caliber team with the players that you have in place. You have one of the better young quarterbacks in the league. Why not bring in something that's going to really change this roster around? That's really going to change things into your favor. The cornerback position is another position they're hurting at, in my opinion, and that's something they didn't address. Or like with the talent level, that's something they didn't address because it was like, why wouldn't you go get a DeAndre Baker? Like what was wrong with some of these corners that were still on the board? Like were they just not feeling the Philly mode? Like was they just not Philly corners? Like I don't understand. And so it was like they did not get better in my opinion at all completely. I feel like this is probably one of the worst, if not the worst drafts I've seen over the course of like the last 2 3 years maybe. And I know they only have 5 picks and all that good stuff, and they couldn't do much with that. I get it. I really do get it. But realistically, they could have did something better with 5 picks. The Giants, the year the Giants won the Super Bowl, I think they had what 4 or 5 picks, and they went off and made the Super Bowl, and they got players that were impact players for that roster that year. They got players that are like depth players or players that might come in and make impacts. You got a crowded backfield now with Miles Saunders. You got a wide receiver room that's like 6'5" and taller, 6'4" and taller, which is cool because I like tall receivers. I get it. But you don't have that playmaker. I know they brought back Deshaun Jackson, so but it's Deshaun Jackson, and it's Deshaun Jackson now, not like Deshaun Jackson back in McNabb days where he was just blown by everybody. I'm not saying he can't do it now. Like his speed, his slow is slow as most players' fast is fast. Like it's just that's how good Deshaun Jackson was when he's at his prime, or even now, like when he's not at like he's not. Not that he's not in his prime, but you know what I mean. He's like kind of going down the other side, but I don't see it with this team. I don't see it with this draft. And I know what's going to happen. I know late next year, someone's going to tell me I'm going to get smacked in the face with it. And I'm willing to take that slap. Is the Philadelphia Eagles are going to find a way to win some ball games because they're a good football team. I understand that. But this draft overall was disgusting. It was horrible. And that's the best you can do with 5 picks. I don't get it. All right, Philly fans, if you're still with me, I appreciate you because that means you either agree with me or you just really are ready to bash me in the comment section, which either way, I'm cool with. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Pretty sure I'm not going to get too many thumbs ups on this video, but I understand. And if you're not a footballologist yet, go and subscribe to the YouTube channel and become a footballologist today. And stay safe, football fans.